And joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian here.
Derrick J.
And Mark.
Derrick J is here courtesy of his website, derrickj.me. And it is such a great resource, Derrick. I was there yesterday because I knew I needed to get on your live channel, and I couldn't remember what the URL was for. And
you don't have to.
Right. You've got all your stuff handy right there on the left-hand side of the page at derrickj.me. And there's a lot to catalog. I mean, this is yet another busy media. The last 2 days are busy media days for you. You've got Peace News Now, which is a Sunday and Tuesday show on LRN.FM. So you did that yesterday. You also co-host the Freedom Fiends every now and then.
Did an episode of Black Sheep Rising, a local show here.
Oh, you did that yesterday too?
Yeah.
Wow. And then today, you're on with us. You actually filled in for the Angel Clark show on LRN.FM. And I think those are the only two you're doing today. But,
that's right, yeah.
You do like 5 or 6 or 7, I don't even know how many shows every single week. It's incredible. And you have been, you put something out there recently that you are a full-time activist, that this is the direction your life has gone, and you'd like to keep it that way,
Yeah,
right?
It's so cool. So, like, this is what I dreamed up. I dreamed this years ago, like, hey, what if I could be full-time doing activism all the time and get paid for it? And then I used my imagination to make that reality, and here I am. And I'm still working on it. Like, I would like to make better income.
You'd like to be a full-time activist that makes more.
Well, yeah, I'd like to make a better income. But right now, people send me donations through Bitcoin, and that's one of the easiest ways for people to donate, because I can just put a QR code right up on the screen when I'm presenting, and then boom, if people like what they see, they send me some Bitcoin, and there you go.
For people that aren't watching you live or who are listening to you on the radio, what's the best way for them to go and find some sort of way to contribute on your website?
It's just as easy. You go to derrickj.me, and there's a link that says sponsor. So it's derrickj.me/sponsor.
Bitcoin accepted. What else?
That's it.
That's it? Only Bitcoin only?
Well, Bitcoin and Litecoin and Feathercoin and Darkcoin, all kinds of cryptocurrencies. But since 2012, I've sworn off the king's cash. I don't take it. I don't take American dollars. They're blood dollars. They're war dollars to me. I don't want to support that. You'll hear an ad on Free Talk Live sometimes where I'm talking about how if you do away with the American currency, you're no longer supporting the American empire. If you opt for something else, well, then you're taking your power away from that currency.
I think that's incredibly...
And you're certainly not in the process supporting some other empire either.
Right.
It's just withdrawing your consent from this concept that, this monopolistic top-down concept that people should control other people with threats of violence.
I love it. I think that we haven't really even talked about you doing that here on Free Talk Live in any meaningful fashion. I think that's a really inspiring thing for people. I mean, to see, because we've seen
another world is possible.
So just to bring our listeners up to speed, Bitcoin is this decentralized currency. It's not issued by any bank or any government, and allows you to send money anywhere in the world in basically an instant for close to zero cost. I mean, just a few cents above zero per transaction. And it's just an amazing technology. It's been absorbed by Dell Computer. Wikipedia is now taking Bitcoin. So lots of big companies and even small companies are now taking Bitcoin. But the fact that you have adjusted your life to where this is what you use, Bitcoin is how you live. I think that's unsung to some extent. I mean, I've seen news articles written by Bitcoin Magazine. Their author goes for a week on Bitcoin. Or
I used
a month.
Bitcoin for a week.
Right. Or I don't know, was it, I guess, there's been, maybe somebody's done it for a month. But I've seen these stories out there, and they're cool. Those I think are inspirational to people. But here you are, you've now, 2 years, you said, since 2012? At some point in 2012 or close to 2 years?
Since fall of 2012. So we're coming on to 2 years now. It was November that I started.
That you've spent all Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like on everything.
For groceries, for travel,
clothes.
for everything.
How do you spend Bitcoin for groceries?
I buy my groceries at Target. Before that, I bought my groceries at Whole Foods. And you can do that through a third-party app called Gift, G-Y-F-T. You can use that app on your smartphone to buy gift cards using Bitcoin. And so when I'm shopping at these stores that accept Bitcoin through a third-party app like Gift, I just go do my regular shopping, and then I total it up in my head when I'm at the end, or I make a guesstimate, buy a gift card in that amount while I'm standing in line at the register, and then I pay for my goods. The register person doesn't even know I paid in Bitcoin.
Right.
I think it's amazing that level of dedication to this, the fact that you've been able to do it for so long, so consistently. I think is something that is really it's unheard of, and I wonder how many other people in the world. There must be others who are doing this at that level. But I haven't heard anything about them, and I would like to know, how widespread this is. How many people in the whole world have taken Bitcoin to that level that you've taken it? I mean, I'm inspired. I'm a little jealous. Like, I wish I could do that. I feel like that would be more complicated for me because obviously we accept money for advertising on Free Talk Live,
but we do get. In some months, it's as much as half of our revenue in Bitcoin.
No, there's a good chunk of our advertisers that want to and do pay us in Bitcoin, and we happily accept it. But obviously, we wouldn't want to go to our existing advertisers who are paying in cash and say, "Well, now you got to pay in Bitcoin."
Yeah,
that's probably not going to work out. So, part of my job is to handle cash. But I wish I could do what you're doing. I think it's incredible. And the fact that you've made it work is proof of concept, and that you've made it work for more than a week is proof of concept that this is valid, that this is doable, and that you can live. I mean, you seem to be living fairly comfortably.
I live well. And in the meantime, there are only more businesses that accept Bitcoin since the 2 years ago that I started. So it's only gotten easier.
It just gets, there's every month more businesses accept Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Pretty
More
soon
people
they
should
all
do
are.
this.
I just bought a hotel room in Las Vegas. I'm going out to an event next month, and for Free Talk Live, and I paid in Bitcoin.
With what service?
It was cheapair.com.
Is that the Expedia, or is that a competitor?
I think it works with Expedia in some way, because I've seen the name Expedia show up on their website, but I think it's branded. I don't know.
So they directly accept Bitcoin on
They
the
accept
Cheap Air.
Bitcoin, yes.
Yeah, and not just for flights, but also for hotels and rental cars, too. I believe.
I just
pay
paid
for
for
just the
hotel. I did. I just didn't like the airfare that I got offered through the
So
service.
Southwest not yet taking Bitcoin.
Southwest is not. And, where Southwest goes, they tend to have the lowest rates.
Yeah.
I just don't want to pay $100 extra to pay in Bitcoin.
So yeah, it will be interesting to see who the first airline is that starts accepting Bitcoin. I wonder about that. So it's really been fun to watch these different businesses come on with Bitcoin and Derrick. So what are some of the key companies you use? Obviously, you said Target is where you do your grocery shopping, clothing,
I think
things like that.
Target is a big one because they've got almost anything that I would want. And Walmart,
they don't have any produce.
Well,
they have a limited
do.
selection of produce, actually, at this Target.
Yeah, they do. And Whole Foods was another one because it was a grocery store in my Philadelphia area that I could use. I switched over from Trader Joe's, another grocery store, because I was sad that they didn't accept Bitcoin. I was asking them each week, hey, are you going to accept Bitcoin? Are you going to? And they were like, yeah, we're talking about it. We're thinking about it, but they didn't
talk too long.
Yeah, this is what I do now, is whenever I'm making a purchase with, cash, I don't mind doing it. I'll go ahead and make your purchase if I have got to do business with your company. I've decided already that I'm willing to spend U.S. dollars, but I ask every single time. You guys accept Bitcoin? And if they don't know what it is, it's an opportunity to educate them. If they do know what it is, it's an opportunity to put a small amount of pressure on the business, because in a lot of cases you're talking about bigger businesses.
Right.
So
I've been doing this to a lesser extent. I'm not consistent, but more recently I've been doing it. Like, I've been trying to buy a satellite receiver for radio stations. I buy these receivers and send them to stations that need them to get us on the air. And I've been trying to find a vendor in the radio business that will accept Bitcoin.
Now, I don't pressure them in this way. Like, I will buy a satellite receiver today. The first vendor that takes Bitcoin will get my business. I'm not doing that.
I didn't say that.
Well, I mean, it's to some extent, if you're holding off on buying,
I didn't say that either.
Okay.
I just said I was approaching businesses and asking them if they accept Bitcoin.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.